CB, you were first Chelsea fan here. A really, really poor result tonight. No win in 3. What's going on at Chelsea at the moment, mate?
I'll be honest with you, man. Firstly, I just want to say big up MCGA, make Chelsea great again. This is why we work as hard as we do. It's for moments like this. I'll be very real. I've got a lot of questions I want to ask the manager, man. Is that a point now where we've got to put him on the hot seat? I'm not a radical enough for me to say Maresca out, but he is officially on fraud watch. I look at the last 3 games where if we just go from the top of the season, all these big games we haven't won. Spurs are Spurs at the end of the day. We should have beat. He made 11 changes against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, cost us a trophy for a United game that we didn't win. That was red flag number 1 for me. Obviously, the big games were not winning. We've now come to this point of the season where we're 2 points off a title. We're, as a fan base, singing, we've got our Chelsea back at the bridge. I'm loving every bit of it. I was there, front line. Well, you know what I'm saying? Well, as a fan base, we're back. We're saying Chelsea are back. You know, you know what I'm saying? And I look at us now within 3 games. Your decisions have put us in the mud. Today, fair enough, a lot of people were questioning him about not using his squad against Fulham. His in-game management then was poor. We was in 80 minutes in, was 1-0 up. He subbed on Nkunku for Jackson instead of putting on a defender. It cost us. We concede 2 goals. Today, you start Disasi at right back. You've changed the goalkeeper. He gives away a penalty immediately. Disasi at right back. Penalty came from there. Goal came from there. Nkunku starting over Jackson. Then you don't make no changes at half time. You wait for the second goal to come in. Why is Nkunku on the pitch for that long? It's these things here I'm starting to question. And for me, I'm just like, don't introduce me to a vibe that you can't maintain. That's all it is. I'm like a babes, you know. You take me out we've gone out on a date. You've taken me Hakkasan. You're ordering bottles of wine and champagne. You know what I'm saying? You've picked me up in a Rolls Royce, and then after 2 weeks in, when I've committed into the relationship, you're pulling up in a Fiat 500. The Rolls Royce was rented. We're not even going nowhere no more. We're going Dixie for dinner. That's what's happening lately. Why have you just introduced me to a vibe like this? I don't understand. Have I been catfished? I don't get it. So I'm not going to go around and say Maresca out. But these are the issues that you got to question the directors. Because at the end of the day, I'm looking at the situation that we've got over here. We need a striker. We need a centre-back. There's question marks on our goalkeeper. None of our wingers can score goals. Nani's our best winger, for fuck's sake. And he's gash. I'm not going to lie. Nkunku's running around doing shifts. And what pisses me off about this Nkunku performance is I know for a fact he had a balloon in his shin pads. This is how fraudulent the man is. His priorities are all over the place. So I'm literally sitting there. I'm looking at the directors. We knew what we needed going into the summer window. It's January. We have the same problems. I was here talking about a title race because I'm standards. I make Chelsea great again. I look at us and I can't believe we're here now. This is the thing. You've ruined my Christmas. You've ruined my Boxing Day. You've ruined my New Year's Eve. As a club, as a fan base, at what point do we start to ask questions on these directors? Because at the end of the day, we know the managers, he's made some decisions, fair enough, but it's the same criminals then again and again. Look at the lap today. He put Colwell in dogs. He had tossed in them, Colwell slapped in doggy, hitting them raw. And there's nothing we could do about it. And then everyone's looking at me like, oh my gosh, CB, oh my gosh, CB, what's going on now? Your club's in the mud. This and that. I've got guys at me on Twitter. All of these mad things here. Am I Lawrence Stewart? Am I Paul Winstanley? What can I do to make this change? You know what I'm saying? I'm not starting the sassy at right back. I'm not the criminal that's doing all of these things. Bro, I'm at a point where I can't believe we were 2 points off a title, and in a week we're questioning whether we can do top 4. This is not easy run of games. Obviously, this run here from the Everton game, we knew, okay, we got Everton, we should win that. We got Fulham, they haven't beat us in 45 years. Luton at home, they haven't won in the league since 2002. You know, we've got Crystal Palace, we expect to win that. Bournemouth, Wolves, City. Then you look at the last 10 games of the season, where we have a run of Arsenal, Spurs, United, Newcastle, Liverpool, those 3 games in a row, and Forest. I'm starting to be worried about this top 4 push. How can we go from title talk and a week later we're questioning the top 4 push, and then I'm getting gaslighted because everyone says to me going into the season, I spoke to Don. For me, with my whole thing was Poch. I'm a back the gaffer kind of guy. I'll make this very clear now. Even now, I'm not going to say Poch, Maresca out. Everyone is saying that. Same with Poch. For me, a lot of the players are not good enough to play at the level for us. That's where my stance has been for a long time. The directors don't help this. we papered over a lot of the cracks when it comes to the gaffer. But I'm looking at the situation that we have at stake right now, and it's the same thing again. But now they told me Maresca's gonna come in and we're not gonna have any injuries. Fofana's out again. Lavia's out. He's started less. He's finished more 90s in the league. He's completed less 90s than Reece James in the league. Lavia has completed less 90s than Reece James. But God forbid I mention this. So the injuries hasn't changed. I look at the style of play. The last 3 games, what's been our style of play? Sideways pass, sideways pass, sideways pass, pass it backward, hopeful cross from Madueke, hopeful cross from Neto, ball given away, hit us in transition. Same thing again and again. Now they told us, Fofana's going to be out for 4 weeks, and you've brought back Assalamu alaikum from Boca Juniors. God knows what's going on with him. So now I gathered we're not going to sign no centre back. It's been 145 minutes played. We haven't scored a goal. So I don't understand. I look at the last 3 games that we've had this run of Everton draw, Fulham loss, Ipswich loss. Last season, honest question: have we had a 3-game spell as bad as this last year when the height of we are in the mud, all of this was at its peak? No, we haven't. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. We've got 1 point in our last 9 games, and we were talking about the title last week. And I don't want everyone to be like, "Oh, you're deluded. Your manager did tell you you're not in the title race." I don't want to hear that. Yeah, we're Chelsea at the end of the day. So I just want to say, make Chelsea great again. MCGA. I can't believe we're in the mud like this in December. And you know what I'm saying? It's days like this where you got to remember, at the end of the day, listen, there's more important things in life. You know, we're about to enter a new year. You know, I can witness it. I can breathe this good air. I've got internet. I've got heater. You know what I'm saying? I'm warm, and it is what it is, bro. Honestly, honestly, dark, man.
David, do you feel like Chelsea are in the mud after being in the title contention in the same way CB does?
No, because I'm not.
I wouldn't say we're in the mud, but this is bad. This is bad.
I'm not one of these guys that was getting gassed, because, as I said at the start of the season, the improvement we're going to have will not be linear. So even if we go on a run of winning 10, 11 games in a row, that doesn't mean it's going to continue forever, because we're still learning a whole new system. Maresca's in his 60th, 70th game of management. When everyone was talking about title race, I was saying, none of you believe this. None of you, it's all fugazi. You're all lying to yourself. You just want to feel good. And I get it. If you want to lie to yourself and you want to feel, we're back, that's cool. But you're gonna end up disappointed. I knew what I was getting into, and this kind of situation doesn't shock me. Why? Because a couple of weeks ago, me and CB were on a show together, and I said, Everton is not a gimme game. Why do you think we're just gonna win it? I said, Fulham is not a gimme game. Why do you think we're just gonna win it? And CB was like, "Oh, where have your standards gone?" I was like, it's not about standards. It's about knowing where the club is and what the club is currently doing. So
we're not good enough to win against 19th place Ipswich. We haven't won at home since 2002.
No, but again, I'm not excusing the defeat. The defeat in itself is bad, but it's not something that is to say that Chelsea's in the mud, our season's over, this, that, and the other. Because realistically, if you were told us at the start of the season we'd be 4th by halfway through the season, you would have been like, we're probably doing all right. So I think everyone needs to take a step back. Stop going on. Again, I feel like I have this opinion because I'm not a Twitter guy. I'm not on Twitter. I don't live there. I don't go to argue with idiots. So my opinion is my opinion. I live here. So I know what my club is. I know what my opinion is, and I can see what the club's progressing to. It just needs a bit of time. So when we can't rush these things, you can't rush them. You're not.
So you think this is a blip? Then you think 3 games in, he's making the same mistakes as a blip? Because for you to sit back and relax and be all right, that means that you're watching this game and you think this is a one-off. Because
I don't.
That's what
it's not that it's a one-off.
Okay, so what is it then?
It's just that the team is progressing. This is not even close to being its final whatever. It's still progressing. Teams again are going to watch what we do and they're going to figure it out and adjust to it. And teams are starting to do that. Now it's going to be interesting to see how Maresca counteracts that.
But have you seen Maresca in the last 3 games making mistake after mistake after mistake?
I've seen Maresca make mistakes. I'm not absolving him of any problems.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not here saying, "Oh, we're in the mud. Chelsea's like make Chelsea great again," because that's just not me. That's not the way I am.
No, I've make Chelsea great again. It's not in the mud. I want to make this clear. Make Chelsea great again is the glory days. Take us back to where we belong. League titles, Champions League pushes to the very end. Final day, we're in title races too. In May, we're talking about the title, and we're winning them. That's make Chelsea great again. In the mud. I don't think we're in the mud. Last year we was in the mud. The year before, what United are right now, that's the mud. They're going through our 22-23 season now. That's the mud. But we're not great. Until we're great, is make Chelsea great again. There's steps that have been made going forward, but we've taken steps backwards now that I don't understand why. That's the way it is.
I hear that, CB. Mo, you kind of interjected there. In terms of isolations on today's game.